Hey guys, what's going on? Tyrauku here. Hope you're all doing great. Today I want to go ahead and jump right into this and talk about how you can re-roll in Raid Shadow Legends. So if you're a brand new player, if you're brand new to the channel, welcome. If you have any questions, feel free to join the Discord, check out the Twitch channel, hang out, ask any questions down below. We're definitely very happy to help you out. There's tons of very helpful players, very helpful content creators in the Raid community, so you'll definitely enjoy it here. And like I said, if you have any questions, definitely don't hesitate to ask. Now, let's go ahead and jump into this. So how can you re-roll in Raid Shadow Legends? So in this video, I want to go over first off how you can do it, and then we're going to get into kind of whether or not it's actually worth it and kind of how much time you can expect to invest to get a decent return on re-rolling. So first off, we're going to need to get the account set up right. So what you're going to want to do is download Bluestacks 5. Bluestacks 4 does work. It's a lot slower. So definitely go ahead and make the upgrade to Bluestacks 5. It's a much newer version of Bluestacks. So there's going to be a link down below, top comment, as well as the description. This is an affiliate link. So once you download Bluestacks, once you install Raid, it does give me an affiliate commission, which is very, very helpful. It does help support the channel. So thank you all very much for that if you do download both. Now, when you download this, you're going to see a Bluestacks 5 icon as well as a Bluestacks 5 multi-instance manager. So both of these are going to be very important. So make sure both of these are on your desktop. If they're not, go ahead and search for the Bluestacks 5 multi-instance manager. I feel like I've downloaded this before and the multi-instance manager wasn't on the desktop. So that's going to be important in the next step. So definitely make sure you have both of these available. So what you're going to want to do, I don't know why that little gray box is appearing, but I guess we can draw shapes. Oh, uncover my background. Cool. All right. Well, that's interesting to know. So we got some mountains in the background here. Now, no ADHD. So let's go ahead and get focused back on the subject at hand. Bluestacks 5, open this up. What you're going to want to do when you get this opened up, this is what I found to be the easiest way to do this, is you're going to want to go ahead and set up your Google Play account. Okay. So this just basically, if you have an Android device, go ahead and set this up with the same account. If you want, assuming you haven't logged into Raid before, makes it a lot easier. Go to Play Store, get all that set up, search for Raid Shadow Legends, and then once you find Raid, go ahead and install, download it. And then when you go back to your homepage, you'll be able to see Raid right here. Now, don't download a bunch of other games yet because we're going to clone the instances. So anything you download is going to cause you to have a much bigger file to clone, and having a smaller file to clone makes it go faster because earlier I was doing it with Infinity Kingdom and Raid both, and it took a little bit of time. So once you get everything set up, go ahead and click Raid. Now, when you click Raid, you're going to have to go ahead and go through the tutorial. This is what I found to be the easiest and simplest way. Also, if you see these numbers down here in the corner, you can barely see it. You can go ahead and hide those. Like you can turn them all the way up, make them very visible, but it's just this keyboard right here on the side. You can hide them. It's just keyboard, but hotkeys basically. But whenever you get your account set up, you're gonna have to go through the tutorial. But once you get to the point where you can actually click past all these offers, but once you get to the point where you can click this icon in the top left corner, go ahead and click this. And when you're here, all you're going to see is a login button, most likely. Okay. So go ahead and press the login, create an email account, a password. It doesn't really matter what. You can use a throwaway email account. You can go to a random email generator online, get an email account, but just link something to it. Okay. What you're going to want to do is go ahead and log out of that account. Once you log out of that account, it's going to take you back to this screen right here. Now, you can use that account for one of your rerolling accounts, but once you get to this screen right here, this is when you can go ahead and exit out of this program. It doesn't really matter anymore. Then you're going to want to open up the Bluestacks 5 multi-instance manager, and this is where all the magic is going to happen. So once you get in here, all you're going to see is this very top Bluestacks instance. This is the one that you created just now with your new account in Raid. You got through the tutorial and then you're good to go. So what you're going to want to do is hit new instance. You can do fresh instance, but when you do fresh instance, you have to sign in with a brand new Google Play account, I do believe, to re-download Raid, re-download everything. We don't want to do that. We don't want to waste time. It's going to take long enough to do this. So go ahead and press clone instance. The reason why we logged out of the first account is because if you don't log out of it, then all the instances you clone, each one of those are going to be logged into your account. And the only way to log out of a Raid account is if you already link it. So we don't want to have to link 10 different emails to accounts. We want everything to be fresh. Okay. So go ahead and hit clone instance, and it's going to clone that first instance, and they're all going to be brand new, fresh accounts, not linked together. So you're not going to have no re-login or this account logged in from a different device issues. Okay. So go ahead and hit clone instance. When you do this, you can definitely adjust all this stuff. I have it set to 4 cores and 4 gigabytes, but if your PC is a little bit older, if your computer's a little bit older, then you can drop this down to medium or low. Test out 4 at first, but like I said, if it bogs down your CPU and your computer just runs really bad, adjust these, maybe make it have less pressure on your CPU, maybe less pressure on your RAM, whatever it may be. Get this scale down to the level that best suits you. Now for the instance count, you can do 1 instance depending on how your PC is, or you can do 5. You can make multiple 5 instances, okay? You can do as many instances as you want. For me, I did 4. I think 4 is a decent amount. It doesn't put too much pressure on my PC, and it works out pretty good. So I've already created 4, and we already got it set up. But all you're gonna do is create 4. When you do this, it could take a little while. Like I said, if you've already downloaded some extra apps, it's gonna take even longer. But as you can see here, I have Bluestacks 1, Bluestacks 2, Bluestacks 3, and Bluestacks 4. Now, when you do this, you don't have to ever log into an account, okay? So when you open up these accounts, I'm gonna show you guys right now that I created these accounts earlier today. I never linked any email with them, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit start on all 4 of these instances. And this is gonna be how you re-roll, and then I'll get into actually when you kind of want to make your decisions within your account, okay? So we have them all open up right here, and it's kind of a mess, right? It kind of looks a little bit ugly. They're all bundled up. I don't even know where the other instance is at. So you just go ahead down here and hit arrange, which hitting arrange will put them in a nice little square order. I don't know why this black bar is over here. Let's go ahead and uncover the background maybe. All right, so now we got a black bar with a background as well. We'll go ahead and minimize this. We don't really need it up anymore. Now, if you really want to reduce some like resources being spent, you can turn on eco mode, though when you turn on this eco mode switch, it makes it run a little bit slow, okay? It's like 10 FPS, I'm pretty sure, lowers the graphics. So if at all possible, try to stay away from that unless you really, really need it, but maybe cut back some of the amount of Bluestacks applications you actually have open. Now, once all of these load up, what you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and click on each one of the RAID icons, okay? Now, you may be able to go ahead and hit the sync operations, which is Control-Shift-9. This should work perfectly fine. Just go ahead and sync them all together. If the icons are in the same spot, you can just click RAID, and they'll all open up RAID at the same time. This function is so good and will make your re-rolling journey so much easier, to be honest. Now, each one of these instances, like I said, I logged out of earlier, turned my PC off, everything should be perfectly fine. Each one of these should log into the account they were whenever I close these applications. So, Bluestacks 4, you can see right here, this account down here is the Bluestacks 4 account. So each one of these accounts are saved to these instances. If I delete this instance, that account's gone, okay? So you can save this first instance. This first one could be your, basically the one you clone off of every single time. So that could be a brand new, don't log into it. Like I said earlier, just log out of it, never log back in, create say 5 or 10 other instances, and then you can always use them to be the ones you create fresh new accounts with, because you may decide, hey, I don't want this account no more. Let's go ahead and delete it, okay? That'll make it pretty easy. Just something to keep in mind. This works perfectly fine. Each one of them are logging in. It takes a little bit of time for them to come in, for them to get popped up though. But you see Bluestacks 4 down there. For whatever reason, Bluestacks 1, 2, and 3 are pretty slow. Looks like Bluestacks 3 is being a little bit too slow, to be honest. But either way, each one of these will eventually get inside the game. Also, when you first download it, you're going to have extra megabytes to download, extra updates, so on and so forth. So the first few times you launch it, it's probably going to be a little bit slower than what it will be later on when playing. So let me see what's going on here. Let me see if I can turn the sync off. Maybe that's going to help with something. Okay, so we turn the sync off. We'll go ahead. So Bluestacks 1 is up here in the top left. Bluestacks 2 and Bluestacks 3 should be coming up. But if we turn on the sync, if I go ahead and turn this on right now, you'll see that what I do here on the first one is the same thing that happens on the fourth one. So if you've never used the sync operations, this is perfect for re-rolling accounts. So now we have Bluestacks 2. We'll go ahead and click over here on the side to, let's go ahead and clear out of this. So we have the Ninja event going on. We have Bluestacks 2 and Bluestacks 3 down here at the bottom. So all of them are the exact accounts that I was inside of earlier. Now, like I said, you could do more than 4 or you could do less than 4. Now, once you get into all these accounts, what are you going to do? So Raid is not a super popular game to re-roll in, just because a lot of games where re-rolling is popular is because you get a lot of like rookie summons. You get a lot of summons very early in the game. Raid is not like that. So if you want to make the most of your re-rolling in Raid, this is a good way to create the new accounts, create several new accounts. But if you want to get it to the point where you're actually getting shards to summon the champions, you have a few different options. And why this is so important using Bluestacks is because you can sync all these operations together. So anything you do in this main one is what's going to happen in all the other ones, right? You're going to have the same champions basically for a while. So you can go ahead and go into the campaign. You can set up your stuff, breeze through the campaign, get to the level where you're actually getting ancient shards. I believe the next star is getting some ancient shards. Now, if you want to play these actively, that's going to be the best way to do it. If you don't want to be very active in playing, you can get a few ancient shards by just logging in. Okay, so first off, you go in the shop and you get one from the shop in 2 days. I just created these accounts earlier today, so it'll be about 3 days probably from the day that I actually created it. So you get that one, plus you get the ancient shard from the daily login. Ancient shards have a 0.5% of chance to drop a legendary champion. And let's see, you click this icon right here. Sometimes the sync doesn't actually sync on all the instances perfectly. We'll go ahead and click this I button right here, and it says the drop rates, okay? So you'll see that right now we have a boosted chance to get legendaries from sacred shards. So if you can get a sacred shard, perfect. It's gonna be a little difficult to get a sacred shard if you're not spending money in that first few days though. I don't know why this account doesn't have it, because this account's literally brand new as well. So that's really weird actually. But either way, click this I button. This shows you all the percentage breakdowns. 0.5% chance of getting a legendary. A lot of the epics are really, really good. If you get an epic, basically just whichever account gets good luck, whichever account has the most epics, is probably going to be the one you want to go with. But if you pull a good AoE decreased defense champion, decreased attack champion, very solid. If you have any questions, join a Discord server, join a Twitch channel, ask if that champion's good. You'll get a lot of feedback there. It's going to be the easiest way because there's so many champions in Raid and so many of them can make your journey a lot easier. The other thing I mentioned though was that in this daily login reward, you'll get an ancient shard right here on day 7 as well. So if you log into each of these accounts, this is what I mentioned before. You could have that very first Bluestacks instance as the one that's just basically your login screen. Multiply that like 10 times, do 4 accounts at a time, just log into them, get your 2 ancient shards, wait for a 2x ancient shard event, which basically makes this chance to summon epics and legendaries doubled. So you get a 16% chance to summon an epic and a 1% chance to summon a legendary. Go ahead and wait for those events, which they rotate. You can ask anybody when the schedule for 2 times ancient should be, and you can figure that out pretty quickly. If you want to grab some more and you actually want to play these accounts a little bit more actively, you can do the missions. There's some ancient shards, I believe, further down the line on the missions. But another benefit is if you plan on being a paid player whatsoever, you can go ahead, open up 4 or 5 of these instances, go through the missions, go through the challenges, keep doing this stuff until you're finally able to get 900 gems, okay? It shouldn't be super difficult to get 900 gems. You can definitely do it with some fairly active play over several days. Even by the day 7, you'll probably have pretty close to 1,000 gems or 900 gems in order to go to the shop. Well, let's go to the shop here. Once you get to the shop, you can purchase the big shard pack. Now, if you're going to be a free-to-play player, this isn't very worth it. The big shard pack has 11 shards, which you can save that up for the 2x ancient event. If you played all these accounts, this is going to give you a pretty good idea which account's going to have the best luck. So this, plus the ancient you'll get from doing the daily quests, if you actually do those, which is right here. So if you do the daily quest for an entire week, you get an ancient shard right there. The ancient you get from that, the ancient you get from the daily login rewards, and the ancient you get from the shop right here. That's going to be 1, 2, 3 plus the 11. So you're going to have 14 ancient shards. If you open those all up during a 2 times ancient event, then you have a pretty good chance on at least one of the accounts of getting something good, right? Now that's going to be the best way in my opinion. And if you're doing the campaign, you're going to get some extra ancients along the way. So maybe you have between 15 and 20 if you do all this. Now, if you're a free-to-play player, I don't recommend spending your gems on ancients. You definitely want to save those. But if you plan on spending money in the game, I don't think it's a bad idea whatsoever to go ahead and spend those 900 gems on all of these accounts, because once you decide on an account to actually stick with, you can go ahead and spend money to go ahead and refill your gems, get gems back to invest in things like the gem mine or anything else that you found valuable, such as champions masteries, which this isn't a beginner's guide video, so other videos are going to be better to go ahead and explain that further. Now, speaking of if rerolling in Raid is actually worth it. So as you can kind of see, rerolling in Raid is going to take you a little bit of time, okay? Honestly, I wouldn't expect an account in Raid to be rerolled and done in just a few hours. Like, I would expect a rerolling journey in Raid to basically be, okay, I'm going to start, say, 10 different accounts, 5 different accounts, whatever it may be, and I'm going to play each one of these accounts with the sync ability on in Bluestacks for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. Whichever account seemed to have the best RNG luck, so whichever account's pulling the best epics, maybe even a legendary, whichever account's getting the best luck, that's the account I'm going to stick with, okay? So with Raid, you're definitely looking at a process that can take a little bit longer. Now, This is all talking about the PC. Okay, so PC is gonna make it a lot easier using Bluestacks. On mobile, it's gonna be a lot more difficult because each account you're gonna have to link to an email. So right now, these accounts are not linked to an email whatsoever. All of these are unlinked. So what I have to do is I have to log into an email address on each one of these accounts to link them, and then I get access to the log out button. Until then, I can't log out of any of these accounts. So if you're on mobile, that's exactly what you have to do. So in my opinion, on mobile, it's not worth re-rolling because it just takes so long. If you're on PC and you have some time to dedicate to doing this, or if you just want to do the daily logins, wait till day 7, maybe even wait till day, 18, day 12, whatever it is, okay? Just wait it out, collect your rewards, and then whenever you're ready to go ahead and open up those shards, see what you get and play from there. Now, like I said, if you just want to go ahead and jump in the game, Raid's not really a game where you have to have the best start. Like, the starter champions you get are very good. They'll stay with you for a very long time throughout the game. All of them are solid. All of them have very solid rolls throughout the game. So unlike a lot of other hero collectors games, having a non-optimal first few shard pulls isn't going to make or break your progress, though I do understand the idea of wanting to have the best RNG luck on your account, because sometimes I've noticed that accounts that have had good luck in the beginning have had very good luck throughout the journey of their account. And I've also noticed accounts that have had bad luck in the beginning continue having that bad luck throughout. But in the end, after several months of playing, even a year of playing, your accounts begin to even out and you won't really probably notice a huge difference, but maybe so. So, I mean, if you guys want to invest the time to reroll and raid, hopefully this video gave you a breakdown on how you can do it, how you can set it up, kind of where I would take it to. I'd probably take it to either that 7-day mark, playing actively, spin the gems, open up shards from the shop, or if I'm not playing actively, if I just want to log in, get the daily login rewards, I'd do it to day 7 if I'm in a rush, maybe even day 18 if I'm taking it a lot slower, right? I'll go ahead and collect these daily. I think these shards pop up once a week, so I'd go ahead and collect these 2 times, and then I collect that ancient in the shop. So you have like 4 shards on each account. If you wait to day 18, 4 shards, maybe 5 shards. So you'll have a decent amount of pulls if you have several different accounts. Definitely nothing crazy, but you will have a void shard as well, which could have a very solid champion inside. And in raid, you're not really missing out on anything. Like some games, I mean, there is a novice tournament in the very beginning of the game, but in all honesty, you're not really missing out on anything game breaking if you're not really playing the account for the first week or so, right? You can log in, collect the energy, collect these daily rewards, basically go to the shop, this offer down here that's free, claim this, leave this in your shop, don't claim this energy, let it sit there, and then just let it chill. And the account's gonna be ready whenever you are. But take it however you want, do whatever you want, guys. Hopefully this video helps you out. Thank you all for watching the video. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below, leave a like if you enjoyed this and if this does help you out. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to catch you in a live stream or in my next video. Have a good one, guys.